The Laker Movie Nerd Review Podcast, the newly formed and combined love child of the Movie Nerd and Oswegonians Laker Review Podcast.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Say what again? Say what again?
Why so serious?
Watch what happens. Well, what happened is this bull would go right through your fucking head. Watch what happens.
I am the one who knocks.
There we go. I'm a genius. I know. For a second, I thought those were Yeezys, and I was just like, oh, God. No, Yeezys literally look like a crocodile fucked a shoe.
I don't actually know what those are.
Have you ever seen a Yeezy?
Oh wait, are those the things where fucking
It's Kanye West's shoe.
Oh, I automatically hate it now. But it's those are the things where fucking like it's like webbed. It like has the toe outlines, and you put it in.
Here,
so
hold
like
on.
You're wearing like a larger version of a fucking toe or something.
It's this is the Yeezy that I show everybody because this is the one I say it looks like a crocodile fucked a shoe.
Oh yeah, that's gross.
It's ugly. Like, it's not an attractive shoe, and it's super wide.
Yeah.
Like, I want to find a very top down of it so you can kind of like, yeah, this one specifically.
Ooh,
I fucking hate it. I think it's the ugliest shoe in the world, and people. Do you? I want you to guess how much one Yeezy is. One pair of Yeezys.
Okay. $250.
$405.
Oh damn! I was off by $250.
Yeah.
$5.
$405 fucking dollars. Are you kidding me for a shoe?
I
get
makes sense.
I get it. I get it if it's J's, you're collecting them and you don't wear them.
Yeah, that's like the.
But
only
people
time.
wear their Yeezys, and I saw a video. Do you know Sugar Pine 7?
No.
I saw a video. It's Steven Suptic and like his friends. They want to stream me for best channel.
Oh, nice. Year. Awesome.
Yeah. And they're really funny dudes. It's basically a vlog, but like a scripted vlog.
Nice.
And it's like weird and funny, and they're just like, it's literally described as just like three friends just hanging out.
So the three best friends that anybody could have for anyone? Any Hangover fans out there? Anyone? All right.
But yeah, so
like, no, really. Sean Peroni, everybody. That's oh my god. I'm literally just turning this into the Collider podcast.
Oh my god.
Good
But
guy.
no, so there's a video that they have where one of their characters, Kib, has, if you snap your fingers, he goes into sleep paralysis, like, no matter what. And so they're just like, and he drops his coffee on his fucking Yeezys. He drops coffee on Yeezys.
Oh,
and they're literally just like, dude, your Yeezys!
Oh,
and
God.
Kib's just like out of it, asleep. It's one of my favorite bits that they ever did.
Oh god.
All right, so are you ready?
I thought that we had like.
Oh, we're going?
Started.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I'm
your
telling
intro,
you,
man.
like everybody. Oh yeah, we have intros of Laker Movie Nerd reviews. So I don't know. I put too many fucking words into this title. I really did. I have to come up with working on better titles. Like every single time I'm trying to fucking write an article.
Oh my god, I know.
The title is the worst.
I get
writing,
that.
I literally write down. Like, I can literally churn out, like, 750 words in, like, 2 minutes.
Right.
Like, I don't have a problem with writing the way that some other people do. Like, other people, like, struggle to make it to, like, 450, 500 words.
Yeah.
Which is, like, our base minimum requirement for words for articles for the Oswegonian because, you know, it's shorter tabloids, you know.
I've been meaning to ask, and this won't sway me from, like, I'll still write an article and stuff for you. I'll write for you guys. Do you pay writers?
Not writers. Editors
Okay.
get paid, not writers.
Editors get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which would be awesome. Cause
So how do I steal your job then?
Well, if you're gonna be here next year and you're not graduating in the fall,
yeah.
if you want to just literally write a shit ton for me, and assuming that
Wait,
my
so are
assistant
you
editor-
graduating in December?
I'm graduating in May.
Okay, no, so we'll graduate together.
Okay, wait, you're graduating with me?
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you're younger than me.
No, I'm 22 years old.
Oh, never mind then.
I've been in college for 5 years.
Oh.
I've been coming up with different ways to like describe it to people. I've been in college. Let me put it to you this way. My freshman year of college was closer to shuffling to the party rock anthem.
Oh my God.
And listening to Call Me Maybe than it is to our current than it is to like the invention of Fortnite.
Oh my god, you just threw it back to me to like 8th and 9th grade.
See,
for me.
you that was 8th and 9th grade. That was my senior year of high school.
What?
2013 to 2014 was my senior year of high school. So listening to Call Me Maybe.
Oh wait, it was 2013. Never mind. I was a junior then. That was my junior year of high school.
I was gonna say 2013 of high school was listening to Call Me Maybe. and handing out my phone number to girls.
During
when that song came on, my friend and I had a dare. He dared me to
Me Too stuff.
Yeah, no, so he dared me $10 I wouldn't hand out my phone number on business cards to women during Call Me Maybe.
And you did.
And I had to hand it out to like 10 women, and I did it.
Nice.
Yeah, I did it. He paid me.
Hey man, get your name out there somehow.
3 of them called me just like asking who the fuck this
That's
was.
hilarious. Yeah, probably the closest thing that I can think of is there was one time, I can't believe I actually did this, but I actually fucking I was bored one night. It was after swim practice. I was tired. I should have been doing homework, but I wasn't. And
You
so
look like a swimmer to me.
Yeah,
you look like a swimmer.
Yeah, swam for 7 years in high school.
Okay.
From 5th grade up until senior year of high school.
Okay, I played football for 13 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, no. That's interesting. I didn't take I until you said swimmer, I was just like, oh.
You're just like, this kid's really unnaturally skinny. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I used to
tall,
actually have...
tall, skinny. I never think about, but like shoulders.
Yeah.
That's the build of a swimmer. It's tall and skinny, but shoulders, like big chest area.
Right.
Because it's all in the chest.
Yeah.
Chest and legs.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke right there, but that's probably not a good idea.
What?
First up, I was literally gonna say, I'm like,
Jesus, Dom!
I know. This will all be edited out, so at the very least,
It can't be edited out of my brain.
true. But I feel like that's more of a personal problem.
Oh my god. No, I played football for 13 years, from literally the age of 4 to 17. Then I played baseball for 7 years during that. I boxed for 3.
Nice.
Nothing. I never went into a match, but like, you know, I was decent. I mean, I sparred, but it was never an official match.
Right.
And like, yeah, it was a lot of, you know.
Yeah, I did a little bit of boxing when I was younger, but
Yeah.
nothing like too major. So.
What was your go-to punch? What was your go-to throw?
I knew 1 through 5, and that was about it. I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily have a go-to. I never fought with anyone. It was just mostly training.
Yeah.
And it was mostly just a thing of my mom wanted us to, like, it was before like all of us had kind of like found swimming as like a major sport. And so
okay.
We had this fitness friend. He currently lives in Austin, Texas, and we would just go to his like gym that he used to run, and we would just train there with him, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I missed that guy. So I haven't seen him in a couple of years.
Oh,
Good
man.
guy.
Give him a call.
So,
Out of
call him on air.
Yeah, let's call him right now.
Call him on air. Just be like, hey, you are here live on this podcast.
What'd you think of Star Wars?
Literally, his response to that will probably be something along the lines of "Fuck Star Wars, I'm so sick of that shit." Oversaturation
I mean,
of
I feel like
superheroes
that's
and Star Wars.
Everybody's response at this point.
Yeah, well, it's definitely up there with fucking superheroes. The only difference being that superheroes are like
At
kicking
least-
ass versus Star Wars. It's just kind of been on like a residual down.
Well, so
spiral.
my viewpoint on that.
It's Disney's whole mentality is they think
Hold
they
on,
can apply the
hold on.
superhero mentality to everything, and they can't.
So my viewpoint on that is superhero movies are at least telling different... Yeah, it's the same 3-act structure of introduce, conflict, resolution, or no resolution, you know, with Infinity War and...
Right.
You know,
well, I mean, even that, because it's like, again, because we're only watching, and again, this is the problem with the marketing, is I have to tell everybody this when they said, oh, I don't like the ending of Infinity War. I'm like, your problem's not with Infinity War, it's with the fucking marketing, because the marketing told you we're going in for one movie, even though it's part 1 of 2, is that, again, you're only technically cutting off at at a midpoint rather than the actual resolution,
which is crazy to think about because you have the concept of like I read something on Instagram earlier this morning actually because all of my explore page is just Marvel,
right?
Because that's what they see that I like to look at, and I follow a couple of the actors, like I follow Chris Pratt and I follow Tom Holland. I follow
can you
all
like
these
message
people.
Chris Pratt and tell him to like stop being a schlub and actually like be funny again?
Damn!
Yeah, no,
fucking damn!
Literally, like I have been like on a little bit of a Chris Pratt hate train for 2018, and it's so funny too because I'm like everybody, like a couple of people were saying like even as far back as Guardians 2, like, oh man, what happened to Chris Pratt? And I'm like, I didn't think he was that bad in Guardians 2.
No, Guardians 2 he was great.
But like I will say he was definitely for me like the weakest part about that movie because I think everybody else in that movie was better than him.
So I'm gonna say something, and you can give your opinion on
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Personally, I think the weakest part of Guardians 2 is the whole Rocket being an asshole thing for the sake of being an asshole. I understand that they're developing his character in a sense, but wasn't that what the whole first movie was about?
Right,
was them
exactly.
being a family?
And that's a big criticism that has been launched against Guardians 2 is the fact that it criticized for repeating a lot of the same beats and storylines from the first one, and some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. It's a lot of different stuff that I would have to go back and re-examine, like put the two movies to the pedestal.
Yeah.
The thing that I always go back to is that Guardians 2 has no plot for the entire middle half of that movie. It has an exciting incident, and it has a very clear, definitive last conclusion that kind of comes out of nowhere. But again, it's just a situation of
but that whole middle section of the movie, I see what you're saying. That whole middle section of the movie, it almost feels as if it stops.
Yes.
Like it's just a standstill.
Right. And there are parts of that I like. There are parts that I
think
don't.
I think the Gamora Nebula stuff was
The
great.
Gamora stuff and Nebula stuff is great. The Rocket being an asshole, that annoyed me at first when it was him versus Quill, because that to me felt like just a repeat of the first one that felt completely unnecessary. Yeah. But then once you put him with Yondu and you have their back and forth, that's when you really start to get some interesting
I think
stuff.
that's better because my biggest issue, like I said, was because we did this all already.
Right.
They became a family.
Right.
You know, that was the conclusion of the first one was Drax was petting Rocket because they were a family now. And I mean, yeah, you can kind of see that carried over because Drax was one of the ones that Rocket sort of liked more.
Right.
And never really had a beef with. But, even then, it's just, I don't know. I feel like we've already done this. Why are we...
Exactly. And then, of course, like I said, I always come to the thing of it's where, and again, this is just problems with that film. Like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is still in my top 10 for favorite Marvel movies.
No,
I
seriously,
love that movie.
I actually put it, so I put it, if we're talking what I recognize as a good film, I put it probably somewhere around 4 or 3. But if you put my personal life in there, it's my number 1.
Right.
Because it came out in 2017. My dad passed away back in 2015.
Oh, okay.
And so 2017 was an interesting that whole summer to almost September-ish, and even so it sort of concluded with I think Happy Death Day.
Okay.
Was this whole theme of father issues.
Right.
Because you had Guardians, then you had Spider-Man Homecoming with the whole Tony-Peter dynamic.
Right. And then you get Thor Ragnarok in November also.
Yeah, you get that, but that's not so much daddy issues. What I'm talking about is between Beverly and her father.
Okay.
And, I never had that specific issue with my dad. My dad was a good guy, but
a decent human being.
Yeah, but I did lose my father, and it was an emotional time. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 kicked that off for me, where it was just this is everything that I felt in that moment when Quill loses Yondu. That was everything I felt. I felt that I realized who my real family was. I realized who my real father figures in life are, and who wasn't actually really there for me. It was really a turning point. And then we have this whole summer full of movies that are literally just daddy issues galore, and it tops off with Happy Death Day, where the main character did you ever see Happy Death Day?
Yeah, I watched Happy Death.
So then her whole thing with her father.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of died off because Thor Ragnarok came out, and that got me back into the mood. We're happy. We're happy.
No, but just to bounce off your point with Guardians 2, and I think that again goes back to James Gunn, where
do you want to cycle into a?
Well, I'm gonna
awesome.
segue, but
awesome.
but just to finish up that point real quick, which is where Gunn just. There's something about just his sensibilities that shine through and help make those characters so much more fleshed out and raw and human. And again,
have you ever seen his first movie?
Slither?
No, his first movie that he wrote.
Just that he wrote, not directed.
Romeo and Juliet.
No, I did back when he was working with Troma.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic film. Funny and wild in that whole Troma way, but it's different from a Troma movie in the sense that. It gave me sort of that sense of I care about these characters.
Right.
I give a fuck, and it's not just because it's the Romeo and Juliet storyline, because it's not. It's fucking crazy, weird Romeo and Juliet.
Awesome.
That only Troma can do.
Hey, as long as it's better than the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, that's all I can ask.
So, on my podcast, actually. Not to promote it too much.
Yeah.
But
This is the shameless self-plug corner.
Yeah. Here's the self-promotion. One of these weeks coming up, either this semester or next semester, we're gonna do the Zeffirelli, Romeo and Juliet.
Is that the one with that Alan Rickman was in for a hot 2 seconds, the BBC one, or am I thinking of a different one?
The 1950s, 1960s one, the one where they got like slammed with a bunch of like, you're showing like boob. It's like,
oh, okay,
it's like,
because it's the 50s where everything is closeted and it has to be behind closed doors and everything.
Yeah, it's
McCarthyism.
It's this beautiful rendition of it, and we want to do that and compare it to Tromeo and Juliet. Because I think that's a fantastic contrast.
That's really funny.
It's the same storyline, but if you take two separate, like, a Zeffirelli who is an artist who understands art, and then you take James Gunn who understands humans.
The definition of an artist, a person who understands art.
Well, all right, listen here, you bastard. But you have Zeffirelli, who is an artist, and then you have James Gunn, who is a humanist in my eyes.
Yes, absolutely.
He sees the good in human beings.
Yes.
That's what fucking ripped my heart out of my chest when I saw Disney fired him.
Yeah.
Do you want to hop into that?
Yeah,
let's go for it.
This thing has been talked over so many times.
It has.
Like, he is the guy who saved fucking Marvel. You had the Russos. They made Captain America interesting with the Winter Soldier, but they still had another 2 years before they did Civil War and kind of launched this new Phase 3 revitalization. Marvel was on the precipice. They had Iron Man 3. They had Thor: The Dark World, one of which made a shit ton of money. Fucking almost critically reviled, still regarded as weekly off point. It's like everything off the Avengers up until, like I said, Winter Soldier was a breath of fresh air.
I was actually talking to my friend over the summer, and like we would spend our time like just talking about movies and talk. I would go on about Marvel because I was like huge into my Marvel kick because I had just seen Infinity War.
Right.
And I made the statement that Marvel Phase 2 did not have to exist.
It didn't. It really, really didn't.
None of those movies. Just introduce Ant-Man in Civil War.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine with that. He doesn't need a solo movie.
And
give him Ant-Man and the Wasp. I haven't seen it. And you can't say a word. Because this one's serious. You can spoil Halloween, the reboot for
whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Whatever the fuck that shit was.
Yeah.
But like, I finally saw it, by the way. This is part 2. If you listened to part 1, you know I hadn't seen it. I finally saw it. It wasn't that good. Yeah. It was okay.
But like Infinity War, we're gonna say this is episode 3 rather than episode 2.B or whatever they're gonna call it. Because again, that's just a smart marketing tactic where they don't want to be confused with all those fucking YA movies in the early 2010s that were just fucking trying to munch off Harry Potter. Because Harry Potter did it. Oh, now Twilight's got to do it, and then Hunger Games has to do it. Then Divergent tried it, and then they flopped. Their third part 1 whatever bullshit flopped miserably, and that basically put the
I was so tired
on that one.
You want to talk about getting tired of things? I've never been as tired of superheroes as I was tired of movies splitting their shit up into separate movies.
Harry Potter did.
Why did we need 3 Hobbit movies?
Yes, exactly. Now,
I'm sorry.
Harry Potter was the only one that could have pulled it off. A, because of the fan following that series had garnered over the years, the books and the movies, and B, because if you read Deathly Hallows, there is so much goddamn shit that happens in that book.
And not to be
so much goddamn shit.
I love
because
it.
It's not just Harry's thing that has to get wrapped up. They have to do the entire Horcrux hunt. They have to give a satisfying conclusion to Hogwarts. They have to wrap up Voldemort's arc. They have to wrap up Dumbledore's arc, which was completely brought out of nowhere. And then to top it off, to add in that whole new revelation about Snape, totally last minute, and ultimately
how much higher note can you get your voice?
Oh, don't test me. Do not test me on that one, my friend. Do not test me. I have stories from 8th grade that I can tell you.
My thing is, and I'm gonna lay it out here, and you can soak this in.
Right.
The other reason that they needed to split up Deathly Hallows is because they needed to get the boring shit out of the way.
Yes, and
the entire first Deathly Hallows Part 1 is my least favorite Harry Potter movie.
Okay, so here's what I'll say.
Because it's boring.
I don't hate Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1 the way a lot of other people do. My least favorite movie and book is still to this... well, no. I like the book a lot more, but it's still my least favorite book.
Order of the Phoenix?
Half-Blood Prince. I love Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix is one of my favorites. Because Order of the Phoenix, you're finally seeing the war against Voldemort get started.
I completely agree, but I think that it was unnecessary. They took a lot of the character development out of Order of the Phoenix, in my opinion, from the book to the movie.
Yes, but that one, I don't know why, but with Order of the Phoenix, I'm always willing to give an excuse to because Order of the Phoenix is the longest book, and then there's another one where Deathly Hallows, there's so much shit that happens in that book.
I've always seen Goblet of Fire as the
Order of
longest
the Phoenix
book.
is more. Order of the Phoenix has more pages, and I believe there is more story. Because, again, Goblet of Fire, while, again, not exactly to the extent, it's still kind of following, like, a similar formula, like, strictly, like, sticking to school, like, but except throwing, like, one of the most dangerous game shows on Earth, and that's basically what Goblet of Fire.
Right,
but,
right.
again, the thing that Goblet of Fire did so brilliantly is interlacing that whole subplot with the plan to bring Voldemort back from the dead in with the trajectory of the plot. And that's what that book and that movie did so brilliantly. And the fact that movie, while still leaving out a lot of the extra shit. Goblet of Fire. And also, fun fact, that's the same director as Donnie Brasco, Mike Newell. He's the only one who came, because he came in, I don't remember if Cuarón was under contract to do another movie or if he just wanted out, but Prisoner of Azkaban made so much goddamn money that I think he just wanted out.
Which I don't get.
But I don't want to
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yes.
I think Prisoner of Azkaban is the worst movie.
Really? And I'm actually,
series.
because you're the first movie, because again, Prisoner of Azkaban is the one that's usually regarded as one of the best. It's not it's up there for me, and I definitely like a lot of the stuff that it does, but yeah, no, I agree, that book and that movie did nothing for me, and like, outside of Cuarón being
I felt like
the
it
first
didn't push
director-
any of the, personally, I felt like it didn't push any of the story.
Yeah, because literally, I feel like the only thing that people talk about with that movie is Cuarón's direction, because again, it's in such stark contrast to the Columbus era, which we had before. And that's like the only thing that you're talking about.
So
like
here's
the
the
effects
thing.
are a little bit better, and the new characters that they bring in, I will admit, are good, and it does flesh out everybody's character and make them more interesting, except for Harry. Because you take this guy who, for the most part, again, it's the first of many lies that he was told in his life, where he finds out about Sirius and he thinks that Sirius is the guy that kills his parents, and he basically turns him into a bloodthirsty maniac.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I feel like that translation from the books to the I thought it was sloppy. I thought it was sloppy in the book to begin with. Just that translation, like when Radcliffe is like yelling at them. I don't know if this is just Radcliffe because
Jesus Christ, we gotta get Megan in here to be in the background.
But
just
oh
like,
my god, yeah,
Harry.
Yeah, right. No, but that's the thing. People like I talk a shit ton about Star Wars and superheroes because that's what's hot right now. But no, I can talk a mean Harry Potter for days on end.
What'd you think of? Well, okay, I'm gonna cut that only because like. I don't want to be that guy, but like I do have a limited amount of time here. But so okay, we were talking about Marvel. I was talking about how I explained to my friend, I was like, Phase 2 really didn't need to exist because you can get rid of Ant-Man. You can you need Age of Ultron, but do that make the Ultron subplot weave in and out through the whole of Phase 2. I think if you start the Ultron subplot in Iron Man 3 and have that be the entire basis.
Again, also just fixes Iron Man 3, because my biggest problem with Phase 2 and
I think
Iron
all
Man
of these
3
need to be fixed.
is the fact that, again, like Iron Man 3, all of these movies have so many interesting subplots, but it's almost kind of like what DC is doing, where it's just random things that happen, where again, Captain America Winter Soldier is an awesome solo movie, and I love it, and it's still to this day my favorite Marvel movie. Yeah. But just as a structure-wise, against the backdrop of that entire MCU, why the fuck are the Avengers not there? That is always my biggest problem with Winter Soldier. You literally, Hydra is back, and is about to literally exterminate everybody on the planet, including several of the Avengers. Why the fuck are they not there? It's so funny because the Age of Ultron, they even made a joke about it, where literally all of the conflicts in the first couple of fucking Phase 2 movies trumps the reason for them getting back together in the beginning of Age of Ultron, where it's like something along the lines of, like when a terrorist threatened the Earth, when aliens invaded the Earth again, when Hydra was revealed to be still alive, the Avengers didn't assemble. But when there's maybe one guess of where Loki's staff is that Hydra might have, every Avenger assembles. That was back when I was
my
like,
argument
really
that I
deep
can
into
make.
honest trailers.
My argument that I can make on why the Avengers don't always show up.
Right.
I feel as though
outside of like money purposes and like obviously building up to the big team up movie.
But no, so I'm talking just in their universe.
Right.
Why the Avengers don't always show up is because one, Thor has to come from across the universe to get to Earth.
Right, except for in Age of Ultron, he had already been on Earth for a couple years at that point, because they established at the end of Thor: The Dark World that he was going back to stay on Earth for a couple of years.
Right. But so that's all well and good. But, you still have to think of it in the sense that, like, Thor needs to come all the way back from Asgard to get here and be a part and do some of that stuff. But also the Captain America situation is just like, I don't think... if you look at how the timeline of that movie goes, it happens within 3 days.
Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier does not go for a long time. The opening scene to Winter Soldier, all the way until the 3 helicarriers fall.
Take off? Yeah,
No,
fall.
to the point where they fall is probably only about 4 or 5 days of nonstop. Cap doesn't have time to assemble the Avengers. He doesn't have time to get in contact with. Black Widow's the only one he has there. He can't trust any of the Avengers because who knows who else is a fucking Hydra agent.
True.
You never know.
Right.
And so,
And honestly, in hindsight, that actually kind of makes Age of Ultron weaker because, again, Age of Ultron, we're still going based off the Whedon cap, not the Russo's cap, which I love. So, because I even watched a video essay where Joss Whedon almost ruined Captain America.
I think Joss Whedon getting out of Marvel was the best thing Marvel could do, and the best thing Joss Whedon could do.
Agree, because it was not good for him either.
Yeah, no, he was creatively stifled entirely. You see, Joss Whedon works when he is in a one-shot, like just Avengers 1, Dr. Horrible. You know, these Joss Whedon, like, one season of Firefly. These Joss Whedon things work because he wasn't stuck just making it.
So I'm guessing based on that logic, I'm guessing not the biggest fan of Buffy?
So I like, I love Buffy, but I love Buffy because it's not just Joss Whedon.
Okay.
Joss Whedon, bold fucking statement. Joss Whedon did not make Buffy. The entire Buffy team made Buffy.
Okay.
Joss Whedon made the Avengers. Yes, a lot of the actors stepped up and really understood who their characters were. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Yes.
Chris Evans is Captain America. Chris Hemsworth, it took him a little while to understand who Thor was.
It was just the fact that I feel like he was inexperienced compared to the rest of those guys. He didn't have as much experience as the rest of those guys. There was also the fact that he was still like really getting to know that character, and he only had one movie to work on.
Personally, it took until Ragnarok for him to understand.
Agreed, and I
who
always
Thor
thought
was.
he did good with the character, like gave a good performance, but he never really embodied that character. I agree until Ragnarok.
And that also does fall on the directors. I don't think Whedon knew who Thor was.
Oh yeah, agreed.
I think everyone sees Thor as this Shakespearean big buff dude who's ready to fucking, like, at the moment's notice, I turn into Thor, God of Thunder.
Yeah, and to bounce off of that point, for you talking about Whedon not really knowing who Thor was, I would actually make an argument that outside of the Hulk, because you have Ruffalo stepping over Norton, so that's really the only character that Whedon gets to play around with on his own, because that's one that he's not based on an original
That is
iteration.
the best character in that fucking movie.
Agreed, is my fucking favorite movie is Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk in that first Avengers movie.
Yep.
Whedon doesn't really know how to write any of those guys. A lot of that is just him writing dialogue and trusting the actors and the studio enough to know their characters enough based on their previous acting experiences, which is why, again, looking back on that movie, where, again, everybody is so blindsided when that movie came out because of... Again, it was the first time nobody had ever seen anything like that before. But now looking back, now that we have the rose-tinted glasses off, all of those guys, they're only working based off of what they got originally. Like, because if you look, like, I got this all from a video essay that I watched in breaking down this guy. I think it's called Full Fat Essays or something like that, where he breaks down all of his problems that he has with the Whedon version of the Avengers versus with the Russo version of the Avengers, where Whedon is only working.
Does he count Captain America: Civil War as an Avengers movie? Because I do.
I'll get to that in a little bit because that's a completely different argument. Is where Whedon only tackles like the very base elements of their personality. If you note, in both of his movies, it's where he literally says, these are his exact words, Cap has turned into a thundering dumbass who's completely out of time. And again, that works for the first Avengers, because that's literally like the first time you see him after he's woken up from his coma, but for Age of Ultron, that really takes you out of it, especially after Winter Soldier, which by that time he's already been acclimated to the modern world.
Yeah, like he understands how to do certain things in the modern age in Winter Soldier. And I think there was a whole lack of communication with character development in the Phase 2 of Marvel.
Right.
So my argument is you either start with the Ultron subplot, and here's how you do it. You do the same order of films. You do an Iron Man film, a Thor film, a Captain America film, or was it... No,
that's what it was. Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, and then Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Then it was Guardians.
Then Guardians, then Age of Ultron.
And you keep Guardians.
Okay.
Keep Guardians in this because... They need an origin story because no one knew who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Exactly.
It's almost like how the Inhumans are right now. Like, you need an Inhumans film right now.
Exactly, even though, like, except TV may have killed any chance that series ever has.
I know, which sucks because the Inhumans are such an interesting dynamic to the world of the universe, especially once we finally start getting X-Men into the universe.
Right.
You have the X-Men, the Inhumans, and then... the Avengers, and you have Dr. Hank McCoy in the middle of all of that.
Right.
Anywho, you start off with Iron Man, and he's coming up with the concepts of Ultron.
But so would you say like that's his inciting incident that he's working on before whatever events of Iron Man 3 happened, regardless? Like I said, looking back, I don't hate Iron Man 3 nearly as much as I did, because I hated that movie when I first saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, especially after getting to know who Shane Black is, and especially after seeing Predator 2, I'm like, oh man, Iron Man 3 is freaking like the best movie ever compared to that Predator movie.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it yet, but I will say, Iron Man 3 was not a bad movie in my opinion. It did a lot for. The main thing that I see argued, and the one that I agree with most, is it did a really good job humanizing a superhero and giving him mental health problems.
Yes.
And bringing mental health problems to the forefront of the discussion. Like, what is this actually doing to these people? Cap must be fucking traumatized.
Yes. And again, I would say the Winter Soldier did a much better at that, because my biggest and again, I've gone back to this multiple times where I've made peace with the Mandarin twist. I'm fine with it. It's a good twist.
See, I like the idea.
And it's not the worst. It was a little bit muddled in its execution, but it was a good
I
idea.
know they'll never make another Iron Man movie after this next Avengers. I understand that he's dying. He's the one I'm not upset to watch die.
Right, because they let's face it, they were all building up to it.
Not just that, but he's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. should go on and do more roles.
Yes.
Like, make more movies. Make another Sherlock Holmes movie. He was great in
Hey,
those,
like that's in development as of right now. Richie.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah, because again, I think the biggest reason why they never came back to do a third one was because Downey got to 2015 post everything.
Yeah.
Downey's been doing nothing but Marvel movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think the last movie that he did that wasn't a Marvel movie before Age of Ultron was The Judge. That movie with Duvall.
Yes.
And
yeah, that is exactly it.
I'm not a fan of that movie per se, but I think him and Duvall both kick ass in that movie.
Yep.
I think they're both fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, so my biggest thing is I still live in a world where that Mandarin twist at the end was not the twist. The Mandarin still exists in the Iron Man universe and is a person in the Iron Man universe, and that was just a coincidence. That Ben Kingsley was fucking, or Kinsley
was Trevor Slattery the actor.
Yeah. I don't believe that. I think that the Mandarin is still a real fucking issue that exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to this day, and that twist was just a coincidence.
Right, and again, my biggest problem with the twist wasn't the fact that it was a thing where he was just an actor. My problem was with the fact that the actual villain of the movie was so fucking boring and literally just a repeat. It was the Syndrome thing all over again. So the point where how it should have ended on YouTube literally pointed that out and made that a main joke in their video. It's the Syndrome thing all over again, only with a much more boring character and a really stock performance from Guy Pearce, who we know can give better performances than that.
I was very disappointed in Pierce's performance.
And to bring it back to the PTSD for a second there, it's the fact that they abandoned it halfway through the movie. Once he is out of Minnesota or wherever he crashes with fucking what's his name, who's in every Shane Black movie and was in Jurassic World, I can't stand that fucking kid. He's so Ty Simpkins, I think is his name. I hate that kid. Every single thing I've seen him in, he's annoying as shit. And I literally just wanted Tony to punch him and just leave earlier.
See, so the thing is how I think that's in the fact that he is still working on his craft, and I can see that kid having a very promising future. I don't see him fitting in the current state of child actors, the ones that have been established by It or Stranger Things. I don't see him existing in that world.
Okay, and I also have a theory that you talk about your theories that Ty Simpkins was originally supposed to be the kid for the Predator movie, the one that Jacob Tremblay ended up playing, but A, he got too old, and B, like he watched him in Jurassic World. I was like, no. Because you even have to admit he was terrible in Jurassic. Him and Nick Robinson both. Those two could have been eaten by a dinosaur, and I would have been very happy about that.
Yeah, it wasn't. They almost played as sort of a MacGuffin to the Jurassic World series. They weren't characters. They were just a thing that existed to move the plot forward.
Exactly. It's similar to a lot of things in that movie. And
right.
But going back to Iron Man 3, again, my biggest problem with that movie is the fact that they completely abandoned the PTSD angle by the halfway point, where once he's out of Minnesota, he is perfectly fine. He's going around. He's cracking jokes again. By the last third of the movie, again, is a traditional Shane Black, where it's a buddy cop thing between him and Rhodey, who, again, the fact... props to the MCU for keeping around Don Cheadle the way that they have and still making him an integral part of the entire film.
Personally,
that makes me really happy.
Personally, I feel so bad for Don Cheadle that he's not getting more play.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
because there's always have to play second fiddle to Downey. And again, the biggest thing with Avengers
which
is that
fine,
he finally, between Civil War and what kind of kicked off with Age of Ultron, and now with Civil War and Infinity War, is that he finally, for the kind of, got to play on his own and was effectively the Iron Man of the team. You know, he finally didn't have to play second fiddle to start, which kind of made me happy.
So what I would do if I were to sit down and fix, like I said, I would have Iron Man be the Age of Ultron and have that kick off the Age of Ultron sort of situation, because my favorite joke of all time is that Avengers Age of Ultron, not really an Age of Ultron, more like a weekend
and a half of Ultron.
Yeah, like a weekend of Ultron.
Again, I know there are honest trailer jokes they made. Yeah.
Weekend at Ultron.
That's already a better movie. That's already a better movie. I mean, let me be real. I like Age of Ultron a lot more than a lot of other people, but again, it's in terms of like the big team up movie, out of the 4 big team up movies that they've done in the verse so far, it's definitely the weakest.
But I
without
think,
a shadow of a doubt.
So then I think you do on Earth, and in the Earth section of the MCU, you have Ultron become a problem. You know, you
for everybody, not just Iron Man.
For everyone, you can, have him have something wrong with the AI or something show up in Winter Soldier.
Right.
You can even keep Ant-Man in the cinematic universe, like his origin story in Phase 2, if you want.
Right.
Fine, whatever. But have it something to do with, like, the Ultron problem leading up to Avengers Age of Ultron.
Also, by the time we get to Age of Ultron, also maybe actually give Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver more screen time than rather just a post-credit scene. And also,
let them test out their characters. Let them play. I understand the reason why they didn't do that to start is because of the whole Fox
were at that time very much separate, because at the time Days of Future Past had come out and basically reaffirmed.
And
let's be
honest here. Evan Peters is the true Quicksilver.
Exactly.
You know,
no offense to Aaron Taylor Johnson. He gives a fine performance, but he is not Quicksilver.
He does okay.
He's fine. Again, it was with those awful I'm sorry. Whoever creative choice to have them do those accents, like Joss Whedon, whoever.
Right. Well, not a good call. No. I mean, I understand that they're the Maximoffs and they are Russian and they are, you know, their whole origin story in the comics is they're Magneto's kids, so it becomes an issue. And all that aside, I feel as though Evan Peters did the better job. Let's just have Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
I understand that they exist in accordance with each other. You can't really have a Scarlet Witch without a Quicksilver. So then establish over the Earth movies, your Iron Mans, your Captain Americas, your Avengers on Earth, establish that they lost Pietro through that.
Right.
And by Age of Ultron, he's not a problem. You don't have the problem of, we have to introduce these characters, we have to get going, because you already know who they are, and you understand where that Pietro died.
Right.
Quicksilver is dead, or whatever, by Age of Ultron, so you can have a whole movie with Scarlet Witch. They can play background characters in, like, Iron Man 3 or Captain America.
Right.
And then you can...
And that way, that also gives you more room to time and develop Ultron's overall plan, which could still be to create the Vision, but that also gives Vision more time to develop. Because again, my whole thing that I go back to with Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron, I think, for the first 2 acts, again, everybody criticizes it for being a repeat of the first Avengers, and I think structurally and story-wise, I think Age of Ultron does the first 2 Avengers movies, the first Avengers movie better. It's until it gets to the 3rd act, where you bring in Vision out of nowhere, which again, Paul Bettany crushed it because he's just that good an actor. And Vision, again, still the most underrated performance and one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I love how the Russo brothers have managed to make that character, like...
I hated him in Age of Ultron.
Really?
Or no, not Age of Ultron, sorry, Infinity War.
Infinity War?
I hate it.
That's where I loved him the most.
See, personally, okay, I don't want to shatter your realm of loving Vision, but... in the comics, Vision is... they nerfed him. They nerfed him for these movies. He is so much more powerful than any of the Avengers.
That's what I like about, though, for Infinity War, because you see him getting his ass handed to him multiple times.
But he shouldn't be. That should... like, there's the line from Okoye where she's just like, why was she up there the whole time?
Yeah.
You know, doing...
with Wanda.
Right, talking about
Wanda, yeah.
That should be talking about Vision. Why was he up there the whole time?
Because he's getting the fucking stone extracted from his head.
Right, but like... my thing is, he has the literal power of an Infinity Stone. He wields an Infinity Stone.
The Mind Stone, which for me, at least to my knowledge, is the least powerful of all of them.
Right, but still, you're still holding an Infinity Stone. You're holding one of the 6 singularities in the universe. You're the most powerful thing. Like, Until Thanos gets more than one.
Until Thanos gets more than one, which he already has by the opening act of that movie.
Right. But all I'm saying is, Vision in Civil War and Vision in Age of Ultron and Vision in Infinity War are 3 different visions. And in...
Yeah, because it shows growth and change.
No, it shows diminishment. In Civil War, he's way more powerful. He's floating through shit. He's like, the only way you can stop him is with Wanda Maximoff. That all makes sense. Why is he getting fucking choked out by a big purple grape?
Because, A, he'd already been stabbed 300 times.
How is he getting stabbed?
Because he never faced aliens before.
He's
That's
a
his first time.
concept. He's a concept.
That's the first time in this entire verse that he has encountered aliens, and so he has no idea what he's up against. Because even as a singularity, again, he is only based on human development and human ideas.
Okay.
Human ideas to this knowledge that have never met aliens up close and personal the way you know. Because, like I said, up to this point, the Avengers' only counter had been with fucking the Chitauri and what's it called? And again, Thor. Like he isn't like. Oh my god! I just lost my point. See?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
And also. Another big thing, again, this is what I give the Russos so much credit for, is that the Russos are trying to humanize Vision. Because you're right, he is OP, he is this AI, whatever. So how the fuck are we supposed to relate to that?
Right.
So by taking him,
I understand
and giving
story
him the
element
relation, and giving him the relation, and again, that's how I'm looking at it. And again, there may be a little bit of a disconnect there because I'm not as diehard a comics fan.
Let me make a final point on this, and then we can, because what I was gonna say, how else you fix Phase 2 is you take, for space, you have space deal with the Infinity Stones. Earth should not be dealing with Infinity Stones.
Right, I agree
in
with
Phase
that.
2, and you should make all the space movies, your Thors, your Guardians. You can even throw in other space.
And to an extent, they did do that.
Yeah, to an extent they did, but I don't think they spread it out
Because
enough.
again, the next Earthbound, because again, after Age of Ultron, the only other Earthbound stone was the Time Stone. Every other stone by that point was back in space.
Okay, so my big issue is that Thor has interacted with too many Infinity Stones before Phase 3. He has interacted with the Space Stone, the Reality. He knows about the Power Stone. He doesn't know about the Soul Stone.
Right, because nobody knows about that one.
Gamora is apparently the only person in the world besides.
Right, again, storytelling, like nitpicking issues.
Fine,
again,
whatever.
Them working with what came before, and
that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And then he also is aware of the one that's in Loki's scepter. He even
the Mind Stone, which again goes back to Thanos originally in a problem with Phase 1, where Thanos has an Infinity Stone already. Why does he give the only Infinity Stone in his possession away? But again, that's just a whole bigger problem with Thanos' arc pre-Infinity War. But
right, of course, and I think that's what another thing that the Russos did well was set Thanos on this better path.
Right.
Of like, it's not just about death; it's about
destruction.
But my thing is if you want to have that be the course of action, the space movies deal with the Infinity Stones, throw in another space hero. Throw in Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock should have been in this universe long fucking before we even had Thanos as a problem. Because so Adam Warlock, have you ever read...
I know who Adam Warlock is.
Okay. So his general character arc is that him and Thanos are friends sometimes, but they're also enemies. Like, Adam Warlock is a hero, but he's also sometimes a villain. In that he's sort of this ambiguity. That one sucked.
Yeah,
I'll take that back. He's
ambiguous force.
Yeah, he's sort of this ambiguous, like, gray line of a person who is a protector of Infinity Stones, kind of like what Doctor Strange is in this universe.
Okay,
but he's also this he's also got this evil side to him. It's complicated to do, but if you leave it up to a great writer like James Gunn, who
started that with one of the many post-credit scenes for Guardians 2.
Well, so
because the whole thing is that
Warlock's cocoon shows up in Guardians 1. It's in the collector's. It's in the background.
Right, but they already established that was just like a fun Easter egg for fans.
Was it?
And that the actual Adam Warlock was being developed by the Golden People, whatever their names were from
the Sovereign.
The Sovereign, yeah, that's right. So
and so, this is my big problem. I love Taika Waititi. I can't wait to see what he does with James Gunn's script with Guardians 3, but I don't know.
Yes.
I can't say that I'm too excited for it because I love and trust James Gunn with these characters. And I love and trust Taika Waititi with Thor and all of these characters who need this sort of, reboot-esque sort of style of directing where it's like, okay, we've been doing Tony Stark as edgy, mental basket case for 10 years.
Right.
If you were to send Taika Waititi to do an Iron Man movie, I guarantee you he would change some of those characters. He would change Pepper Potts' attitude. He would fix a lot of their attitudes. He's a fixer.
Right.
He fixed the Thor Shakespearean, everything's so brooding and menacing and I'm Thor.
Yeah.
And he fixed Loki's I just must have the throne. He fixed all of these stupid, we already get that these are their characters.
Right.
Let's learn more about them. He fixed that in Ragnarok.
And but here, so real quick to just interject real quick here, I'll tell you my worry about Taika taking over for James. Taika, for me, with Thor Ragnarok, I feel, because again, I don't blame him for this, because again, I feel like this is Feige telling him to hold up to a certain standard, and is that I feel like Taika misses a lot of the stuff that James manages to hit in terms of having the real human elements help strengthen your characters in order to make the humor hit harder. Because for me, that's what makes the humor for Guardians 2 work, is because it comes from such an interesting place of endearment.
From an honest place.
Right.
Yeah.
With Taika, what he does with Thor Ragnarok, the shit he does is hilarious, but I feel like the problem is because he is working so hard on trying to reboot everything, trying to basically hit the reset button, is that I feel like a lot of the potential, really interesting, dramatic stuff that is in that movie that I feel like would have been better in, say, a more serious Thor movie, misses and feels undercut. Like the humor when it comes in that movie feels like it undercuts the dramatic moments rather than strengthening it, say with James Gunn does.
Perfect example, Get Help. The whole Get Help situation.
Get Help thing.
They had this beautiful dialogue in
and
the
again,
elevator.
the back and forth between Thor and Loki, that's the one fucking thing that holds up from Thor the Dark World that Taika kept. And it hits beautifully. It's my favorite part of that whole movie.
Because remembering that they're brothers.
Yes. And remembering that everything that Loki hates about Thor comes from his own insecurities and because of shit that Odin did. That has nothing to do with Thor. Thor even says, I never wanted to fight you. I wanted us to fight together. You were the one that always hated me.
Right.
And it just makes you realize, again, what a shitty father Odin was. Something that none of the real Odin is the fucking worst.
One of my favorite memes is the whole, imagine, if Odin was a good father, you would have fucking Hela, Thor, and Loki all fighting Thanos. It would be like a 2-hour fight. It would be over by the end of it. And they'd go and kill him as a weekend activity.
Pretty much. Especially with Hela. Are you kidding me with the way that Hela was standing up against Surtur? Oh my god, you would have had Thanos on his back in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yeah, I the thing that gets me is they're trying to set up Thanos as this unbeatable fucking you can't brute force beat him.
Right, but that doesn't work because then that takes the humanism out of him. Again,
exactly.
We relate to characters not because they're unstoppable, but because
they
have
to them
flaws.
Because they have flaws.
Because they have flaws, because that's where the human element comes from. That's where the relatability comes from.
Thank you.
It's the
and the only flaw that he had in that movie.
That Marvel missed for every single villain for Phase 1 and 2 except for Loki, and then they finally fixed it for Phase 3.
The only flaw that Thanos has in that movie is his love for Gamora.
Exactly.
And he fucking yeets that shit right off a cliff.
Yes, and that's what makes Thanos the antagonist, is the fact, and again, I keep making this argument, this is an argument that I heard when the movie came out, and I still see this argument, this is the thing that makes him double as both the protagonist and the antagonist, where it's his constant trying to overcome his flaws in the worst ways possible that not only set him back, but also propel him forward towards villainy. Because again, it's so complex because he doesn't want to do this. He makes that very clear. He doesn't want to do this, but he feels like he has to. And it's also doubled with the fact that he is a psychopathic murdering maniac, even if he doesn't see it that way.
And with you saying that, I have to bring up this point. Are you then now excited that the whole Fox... I mean, no one's excited that the Fox Disney thing is happening because of the whole monopoly. And what it means for our real-world implications.
Right.
But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, are you happy that they're finally going to get to do... Kevin Feige and Marvel and their team are going to get to touch Doctor Doom?
Yes, because fucking...
That's what this character is.
Oh my god, yes, that's exactly what that character is! That's something they miss with every single fucking movie!
I imagine that in the next Phase 4 through 6, Doctor Doom is going to be the main bad guy.
Christ, I hope
because
so. Christ, I hope
and
so.
I hope they're doing the whole. He realizes that he needs to rule the world because if he doesn't, he's seen the future and he knows that if he's not ruling the world, the only future that he's seen that the world prospers and lives on is the one where he's ruling it. His flaw is that the only way to get to this point, he has to do evil, bad things.
Right.
For the good of humanity.
Right.
But
And that'll be an extension of his already existing hatred of Reed Richards, which again, that itself is already complex enough that again, all three of those Fox movies completely botched and misunderstood.
Yeah.
Is the fact that his whole driving force is not having to do with some bullshit thing over who gets to fuck Jessica Alba and her fucking being naked in every single scene in those goddamn PG-13 Tim Story movies. It's the fact that fucking it's the fact that he's so goddamn insecure, and that when he finally meets somebody who not only is as smart as him, but is arguably smarter than him, because again, it's already been established that Reed Richards is the smartest man in the entire universe, in the entire Marvel universe.
Right.
But that's something that he doesn't know how to expect or deal with.
So my biggest issue is I feel as though they're going to kind of fuck up Reed Richards' character.
Okay. How so?
So, did you ever read the comics? Any of the?
I read the ultimate. Okay, so I read the Ultimate Fantastic Four comic line, and that was my favorite iteration. So,
did you ever read the Civil? Did you ever read the Civil War comic?
Oh, where he basically turns into a complete asshole, and to the point where Sue leaves him in order to help Captain America.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's so.
So that's the That's the fucking Mr. Fantastic that actually exists. Reed Richards, Hank Pym, and Bruce Banner are actually assholes.
They are. I agree with you on Hank Pym and Bruce Banner. Those two are dickweed.
Reed Richards is also a fucking huge asshole. He's like,
and Tony Stark too. Let's throw him in there. Fucking belligerent.
I will not.
Okay.
Only because Tony Stark. Because I've read Civil War 2.
Oh, okay.
Civil War 2, you see Tony's real side because Miles Morales becomes the So, Civil War 2 is basically there's a new Inhuman that comes out of the cloud, and he can see the future. And he sees, the thing that kicks it off is he sees a future where the Hulk is standing over the dead bodies of every single person in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, okay.
And so they go to deal with it and talk about it because he was right about Thanos showing up. Well, so the first thing he sees is Thanos shows up, and that's what kills Rhodey. That's what paralyzes Jessica Lange. I think that's the name of She-Hulk. She-Hulk.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
Jessica something.
Yeah.
Paralyzes her, puts her in a coma.
Oh, damn.
Like, Thanos shows up and does all this shit and fucks up, but like, they were there to stop him because the Inhumans saw Thanos coming. Then he sees the Hulk thing, and Captain Marvel is like sold that this kid's seeing the future.
Okay.
And what's going to happen.
Even though it could also potentially be only one future of many. Which is
fun. That's the kicker. Is Tony does the math, and he's not even actually seeing the future. He's seeing the future that is affected if he tells the Avengers what he sees.
Okay.
He's not even actually seeing the future. He's seeing a possible future.
Exactly.
Because Tony Stark is, again, a humanist who sees that, no, people can be good, things can be different, we can affect our own fates. Fate does not have control of us, we control fate. So that's where the Civil War 2 is between Tony Stark and Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Is Cap still alive by that point?
Cap is still... So, and the thing that brings Miles Morales into this is, the next vision after the Hulk thing, which the Hulk thing ends with Hawkeye shooting the Hulk and killing him.
Really?
Putting an arrow through the Hulk's head, yeah.
Fuck. As Banner or as the Hulk?
As the Hulk.
Shit.
Well, a hulking out Banner.
Okay.
So, halfway between, but it's a special arrow that Banner designed for the next time he hulks out.
Okay. Because by that point, Banner hadn't been the Hulk for years at that point, right?
Yeah, about 3 years.
Okay.
He went without an incident, but he was doing tests on himself.
Right, okay.
To see if he could get back to Professor Hulk.
Right.
So that he could have this body but still have Banner's mind.
Right.
And then, so the next vision after that is of Captain America being killed by Miles Morales.
Okay.
Which is a huge fucking leap because, one, Miles Morales will never kill anybody in his comic run ever. And it's proven that never happens because Captain Marvel tries to arrest Miles Morales and like lock him up just so that he won't kill Cap, not because of any. It's not personal. It's business.
Right.
And Tony's like, no, he should be allowed to be free. We're gonna assume Miles Morales, who none of them know, because no one knows who is Spider-Man at this point after Peter Parker drops the mantle. He's like, we're gonna assume that this kid who's never killed anybody in his life, even when given the chance to, is going to kill Captain America. They go do all this fighting. There's a huge fucking fight over everything. Captain Marvel puts Tony in a coma, and like he's out of commission for a whole story arc. But Miles Morales never kills
Captain America.
And so I don't remember why we started talking about this.
Something along the lines of Phase 2 leading to Civil War and all the how
we were talking about Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom and how he would and the back and forth between him and Reed Richards and how Reed Richards is an asshole.
So the reason Tony Stark's not an asshole is because he's on the right side in Civil War.
Okay.
In Civil War 2. Tony Stark is not an asshole. Tony Stark just does asshole things.
Got it.
I think he has the same morality as Captain America. I just think that it's misplaced from time to time.
Right.
Whereas Captain America has this sort of overarching, I will never be the bad guy ever unless,
Right, somebody pushes me. Where Captain America is the idealist, Tony Stark, as you said, is the realist and the humanist.
Yeah. Well, so and the other thing that always gets me is the idea that, like, Spider-Man could never wield Thor's hammer.
Right.
Because he can't take a life.
Right.
Captain America can make the decision to end a life.
Right.
Because...
And so that's the end-all, be-all to wielding Mjolnir.
Having the morality to know when you need to kill someone.
When you need to... Okay, got it.
But also having the morality to know that is the last resort. That's why Cap can wield the hammer.
Right. That's why Cap almost wielded the hammer in Age of Ultron, but couldn't.
Yeah.
I still go back to that look on Thor's face where he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. What the figgity fuck?
No, but so that actually brings up like a lot of really interesting points about, and again, just so much rich shit that you can get from comics, and there's a reason why comics and their translation into film will keep going for decades upon decades, because as long as you have this base, as long as you have this source material to base it off of, you will always have shit that you can go back to for movies.
Well, what kills me the most is that, yes, of course, I want to see these actors move on and everything, but I don't want to see someone come in and take over the character after they're gone.
Exactly.
Especially someone iconic like Robert Downey Jr. But Tony Stark is a perfect example of someone who literally goes on in the comics forever.
Right.
And not just as, like, he is the trainer of the new Avengers, like the Kid Avengers.
Right.
Like a young Captain America, the girl Captain America, I can't remember her name.
Oh, all those young guys.
When the kids start forming the new Avengers team,
right.
Tony Stark is their mentor. He teaches them how to, this is the morality of the whole situation. And I kind of wish I could also see I could see this happening where Robert Downey Jr. signs on another contract for another 10 years. Hear me out. This is a bold statement and your eyes just shot open.
I'm like, oh my god, the dude's 53, another 10 years. Good God, he might be dead before we ever see another non-Downey Jr. Iron Man.
They're going to keep his ass alive until he fucking hits 100. I see Robert Downey Jr. turning 100. But no, so they have signed him on for another 10 years. But it's all he'll never front a movie again. He'll never have to be...
It'll just be guest spots.
It'll not so much guest spots or cameos, but like I don't want to see a Tom Holland Spider-Man without Tony Stark.
So that's the thing. I want to see a Tom Holland movie without Tony Stark, because I want to see how that character reacts in a world without Tony Stark, because we've only ever seen that character interact with Tony Stark, and it's been great so far, the stuff that we've gotten, but again, still, I feel like you don't get the final perfect full coming into his own maturity of that character
right.
unless you get him without Tony Stark.
Well, so I completely agree with that, but I think there's so much that needs to happen in the Spider-Man story arc within the cinematic universe that hasn't happened yet.
Agree, which is why there's all that space.
They need to figure out
Phase 3.
They need to figure out how to bring Doc Ock back into this universe.
Oh, they'll figure it out. They're already bringing what? They got Vulture, they got Mysterio, they got Scorpion, they got Shocker, and they got what other villains? There were like 5 villains that were introduced in Homecoming alone.
Right, but
they got Tinkerer. They got fucking. I'm pretty sure they referenced Silver Sable.
Yeah.
I think they did. I don't remember.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and if your theory from Venom pans out, like Marvel's gonna have that in no shot. I'm telling you, it's gonna.
And then we got the Sinister Six, and then we've got Doc Ock, who has to be a part of this.
I'm telling you, it's gonna. Now here's the question though: who do you get to replace Alfred Molina? Is my question. Because Alfred Molina might be.
I don't know.
Like I said, I still love Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, but I will even admit that performance is a little bit dated, and so I would like to see somebody.
You know who you replace him with?
Matthew McConaughey.
No. I see good casting.
Yeah,
though,
I mean that's still that was a rumored casting that happened about a year
I remember
ago,
that.
I was so hoping that it would be true. I was so
William
hoping
H.
that it would
Macy
be true. As
a Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. Yes, I do see that.
So that wouldn't be too down to earth for you, because my whole thing about Norman Osborn was like a fantastical personality. I think William H. Macy is so good at playing the everyman that, like, again, the most over the top that I've ever seen him is Frank Gallagher.
I was gonna say, think of him in Shameless though. Think of how easy it is for him to get you to hate him.
True.
That is how
true.
easy it is to make William H. Macy the villain. Think of Fargo. Which I hate fucking Fargo.
Real the movie. Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's a discussion for another day.
No, it's a discussion.
We gotta get into that.
It's a discussion for the next. I give you 15 minutes to talk about this. I will give you 15 minutes to pick my brain about why I hate Fargo.
15 minutes. So it's 2:09 right now. 15 minutes.
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Start asking your questions.
Why do you hate Fargo? Structurally, acting wise, like performance wise, like subject matter, like what is it about this movie that turns you off?
So many of those aspects. We'll start with the story. I was bored out of my fucking minds watching it.
Okay.
I felt that a lot of the Steve Buscemi,
Peter Stormare.
Thank you.
That the Swedish guy that's been in everything.
Yeah. I think that their shit was so, like, not fun to watch and needless to be in there.
Really? See, that they're back and forth between those two is my favorite part about that movie.
Okay. Because clearly the Coen brothers only gave them the good dialogue.
Right.
And I still was bored.
Oh.
I was bored through this whole fucking movie.
Okay.
Granted, I will give you, I watched it when I was 13. I watched it with my mom and my sister in our apartment on an afternoon where I wasn't that into watching anything at the time.
Yeah,
I will openly admit that in all of the situations where I watched this movie, it was not a good time for me to watch this movie, but I still vehemently you're gonna this will blow your mind. It's my least favorite movie of all time.
That's fine.
But I mean, like, every time I tell someone that, I'm just like, I can't stand this movie. I hate it. It is down there with All the Right Moves starring Tom Cruise.
Oh my god.
I hate that movie so much too. And so
I've never seen that movie, but I've heard
terrible.
bad things
it's
about
fucking
it.
terrible. A guy lifts a desk with his boner.
Hey, it's called All the Right Moves.
So the story was boring to me, and then the ending was confusing to me. I mean, I understood. I got it all, sort of. I understood that William H. Macy was playing the long con with the wife and the father's money and all that.
And obviously everything went wrong.
And he wasn't even actually who he said he was and who we thought he was in the beginning of the film.
Right.
You know, and I get all that. Let me start with the positives.
Oh, wait, so you think William H. Macy's character is a lot smarter than he's letting on, and that it's not just a thing of just everything goes completely, like,
no, I think
he's completely fucked.
I think he's he's entirely an idiot.
Okay.
I think he's completely an idiot, and he knew what he was doing.
Okay.
An idiot who had a plan and just had no intelligence on how to execute said plan.
Okay.
And then the bumbling idiots of Steve Buscemi and Peter
Stormare. Yes, that's how you say his name. It's Stormare is how it is.
Stormare. Okay.
Stormare.
Peter Stormare, who are bumbling idiots. Stormare's character a lot less so.
Right, a lot less, more silent, psychopathic. Like, that character trope is an idea that Noah Hawley has borrowed from heavily for his show, his adaptation, which I love that show.
Okay, the show is great.
Okay.
I will come out and say that right now. I love the fucking show.
Yeah.
Talk
about taking an idea for a movie
and
turning it into a show.
saving Kirsten Dunst's fucking career.
Right? Oh, that is the first time I've ever seen her in something where I actually like her. I have never liked
Bring It On.
I've never seen Bring It On.
Guilty pleasure.
I've never
for
seen Bring It On. And it's fine. Which, ironically enough, bringing it back to Marvel, you know who directs that movie, right?
Who?
Peyton Reed, the director of Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, directs Bring It On.
I can see that now that you said it.
Yep.
Oh my god. No. So okay, I think that the story for Fargo is okay at best. Also, it was overhyped to me to begin with.
Yeah,
everyone was just like,
it's also arguably the fact that when it was released, it's released in '96, which is arguably the weakest year of the '90s. It's between that and '98 for two of the worst years of the '90s.
Yeah, totally. You know, and especially when you're coming out with such interesting movies. If I were to name a favorite movie of a decade of the '90s as a decade as a whole, 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys, yeah.
Easily.
And that's so funny too because I literally just watched The Fisher King from Terry Gilliam.
What'd you think?
That movie is brilliant. I
Right?
love that movie.
Right?
I love Terry Gilliam. I still gotta watch 12 Monkeys. I still gotta watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But from everything I've seen from Terry Gilliam so far, I love his style.
Have you not seen 12 Monkeys?
I've never seen 12 Monkeys. But
It
so
says
funny.
so much about fate and so much about how we can't change our fate. It's the perfect time travel movie.
Okay.
That I will just tell you, it is the perfect time travel movie.
Okay.
More perfect than Back to the Future. More perfect than The Terminator. It is the perfect time travel movie.
Okay.
I will give you no other hints to it.
Okay. Because I want to watch it.
I will also tell you, it is, in my opinion, Brad Pitt's best performance.
I was about to ask you that because, but for me, Brad Pitt's number one is still it's a toss up between Fight Club and Inglourious Bastards.
So it's okay.
Although
okay.
Burn After Reading, you want to talk about unexpected Brad Pitt Coen Brothers performances? Burn After Reading shocked the hell out of me and how hilarious he was. He's the best part about that movie.
So I will give Inglourious Bastards huge fucking props. They use Brad Pitt perfectly with his comedy mixed with his dark sense of humor mixed with his ability to just be a fucking badass.
Yes.
Burn After Reading, I actually didn't see.
Okay.
So
I'll let you watch that movie on your own in order to form your own
So the
opinion
thing
on that.
is I've avoided Coen Brothers movies after watching Fargo.
And
the only one that I have seen that I like is Big Lebowski.
Not No Country for Old Men.
No.
Okay.
Not
Watch
big
No
on
Country. Okay. So I'll tell you this: watch No Country for Old Men. Watch True Grit.
I forgot True Grit.
Yeah, and
forgot
watch some of
True
their
Grit.
dramas is what I would say because
True Grit was good.
I will say I still have a fair share of Coen Brothers movies to watch, so I can't definitively
I also
say that
saw
I have
Hail
locked on their
Caesar,
style.
and I liked what I saw from Hail Caesar.
I despise Hail Caesar. That's my least favorite of them. Because I'll tell you why. It's because for me, they're trying to mix their drama with their black comedy, and it doesn't work at all.
That's what I saw Fargo as. I saw them trying to mix their drama with
Fargo to me is, I think, much more well executed than Hail Caesar is. I think Hail Caesar is
my
a
question
hell
is,
of a lot.
do you see Fargo as a drama or a dark comedy?
Dark comedy.
Okay, see, I looked at it through a drama. I saw it as a drama.
Yeah, that movie is hilarious to me. So, fucking people.
I forget it's Halloween.
Yeah, I completely.
We're actually recording this.
We're recording this on Halloween, and it's a Wednesday. Like,
Yeah.
Halloween is on a Wednesday. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, so we kind of got, like, really off track there. I don't even remember, like, what we were...
Well,
something about Fargo and how that went back
what we
to
were
the...
talking about was I don't like Fargo, and I don't...
No, I knew that. I meant, like, what that spawned
Where
from.
did we come from Fargo for... you had mentioned the Coen brothers, and I was just like, I'm gonna just throw it out there. I don't like Fargo.
Right, okay, and so it's been 15 minutes. So, I remember... So there was a point that I was making before about with Marvel and...
Can I throw you off track one more time?
Yes, please do. I love people throwing me off track.
Why is Dave Bautista such a cock? Why is he being an asshole? What's the point of spoiling a movie for people?
Well, for at least for right now, I can tell you it's because he's pissed at Disney and he's trying to do whatever he can to fuck them over.
I get being mad. I get trying to fuck them over. I get doing whatever you can to get out of contract. I get that. But why are you ruining the fans' experience?
That's the thing, because you had brought this up previously where you said that he was going around dropping hardcore spoilers to the movie. Is he only doing that in person? Because I'm not seeing anything.
I'm pretty sure he's only doing it in person. I don't think he's dropping anything.
Because I was looking on his social media, I didn't see any hardcore spoilers about the movie.
He never said anything over social media, but he has been saying things in like interviews that they've cut out of interviews. Marvel's been paying to cut out stuff from interviews because he's being a huge cock.
Okay.
Why? I get that you just go work with them. Just stop ruining it for the fans. Stop ruining it for the fans. Why are you doing that?
All right, I'll give you that. I don't have an answer for that. That's a total dick move.
Like,
Like, that's an absolute dick.
I've been wanting
I
to
get
ask,
it.
like-
He's pissed at Disney. He's pissed at the James Gunn situation. Everybody else is. Michael Rooker is just the most recent one that came out about because they were talking to him about Suicide Squad 2 and whether he would jump over onto the
I'm
Suicide
sure he
Squad
would.
2 Warner Brothers train.
Here's the thing. I like how Michael Rooker looks at this whole situation. Personally, I like his view of it, where, yeah, he's mad. He's voiced his opinion. We're all mad and we're all
But
voicing
at least
our
he's being a
opinions.
professional about
He's
it.
being professional about it.
Which is something that I would argue that Dave Bautista is getting to a point where he's not being.
Well, so granted, Michael Rooker's been written out of this universe for the last year now.
True.
And he doesn't have to be in the universe until 2020.
Right.
You know, with Guardians 3.
Right. Oh,
Well-
he is coming back for Guardians 3?
So, no. Dave Bautista went in to film reshoots
For Avengers 4.
Avengers 4, and people are assuming it's Drax's death.
Okay.
And that's what I'm assuming. I would not be shocked if Marvel's just like, he's being a cock, let's get him out
Yeah,
of this
that's
universe.
what I'm expecting to happen. That is
Yeah.
exactly what I'm expecting to
You
happen.
know. And also, so a huge death for the Guardians, like Drax, especially would be a great sort of like place to set them up for Phase 4/Phase 5.
Right, whatever, and they end up calling it afterwards. Because I definitely think they are going to go in a different direction storytelling-wise than they
You
have
don't think they're going to
previously.
keep going phases?
Well, yeah, they'll keep around phase, but I mean in terms of like how they structure it, in terms of like setting, having the individual conflicts while also setting up for the big villain. I think it's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot less hints at a larger overall threat.
Right.
Except it's going to come from a lot more unconventional places. You
Right.
know?
I think Adam Warlock's going to play a huge
Adam
role.
Warlock's going to be a big part, like I said, because I already think the next big conflict. You were mentioning Doctor Doom with the whole merger, but I think the merger it's just going to make it easier for them to do the Kree Skrull secret invasion conflict.
That
They're
would be
already
cool.
dropping theories about who might actually be a Skrull. Like I heard some theories about that Wong might actually be a Skrull or something like that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I like that. I'd also like to see them bring House of M into.
Yeah, I
like
want a
that.
House of M to happen after the whole, because I knew Vision was going to die in Infinity War, and I'm like, okay, I want Wanda's reaction to that to be her causing House of M with the Fox merger happening, and then
Yeah.
she dissolves into dust, and I'm like, oh well, okay.
Well, no. So I think that would be the perfect way to bring the X-Men into the cinematic universe is through House of M. You don't need to establish the X-Men in your universe before that, because you can just have her go. You can have that sort of like half of a movie to like explain that. Maybe do 2 House of M movies.
Right.
Make that your next Avengers, where everyone teams up. Make the House of M movies where everyone teams up in your next phase.
Okay.
So I think it should be, because I don't see House of M as an Avengers movie.
Right.
And that's sort
That's a big collaborative, like Avengers, X-Men, all of them type thing.
I think, and
But the other big thing about House of M is that. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting House of M mixed with M Day or whatever it was, because one of them is her fixing reality so that Magneto rules everything, and the other
that's
one,
House of M. That is
No,
House
okay,
of
that's
M.
House of M. But then there's another one that I'm thinking of where she alters reality so that there's no more mutants.
Yes. Well, no. That's both. That's
both?
That's both House of M, and House of M takes place on M Day.
Okay.
M Day is the event in House of M where all mutants have lost their powers.
Right.
And basically, the only mutants that haven't lost their powers are the ones that work for S.H.I.E.L.D. Or no, what am I thinking? House of M, everyone has powers.
Right,
So
that's right.
No mutant
yes.
is special. Everyone has
Everyone
powers.
has powers. Pulling a syndrome thing, ironically. Amazing how Incredibles managed to predict all of this shit before like it even happened.
Yeah,
So,
oh, yeah.
funny how that works. Funny how that works.
I just think that Marvel needs to do some real fucking soul searching for where they're going, because they set something up for a great 3-act structure, and they're about to conclude their 3-act structure.
Yep.
I just think that Avengers 4 now needs to take that concept of the 3-act structure
And do something different with it.
and of course Avengers 4 is gonna excuse me, that's the Reuben. Avengers 4 is gonna take that concept that like this is the final note
Right.
for a lot of your favorite heroes. Phase 4
is going to be everyone dealing with this world without Iron Man, without Captain America, without Thor.
Right. That's
without
gonna be the new underlying trend throughout.
Everyone
all the
now
movies
has
going
to
forward.
deal with this world.
Right, which they even said in a couple plot leaks back Far From Home, saying that Peter's biggest struggle in that movie was going to be dealing with in a world without Tony, which again goes back to my point about I want some of that more rich character stuff, seeing that character without Tony.
Right, and I can understand that, but you know for a fact based on the pictures that Nick Fury shows up.
Right.
And now I think what's going to happen is rather than have that world without Tony, they're just going to replace Tony with Nick Fury.
Oh, why?
And I think that's an even worse
that's
dynamic.
Terrible.
But
that's a dynamic that they tried to do for the newest whatever bullshit Spider-Man show that they were doing on Disney, and I fucking hated it. Where he's basically being recruited as like a new agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm like, I don't want that.
No.
I hate that.
Spider-Man is...
Spider-Man, the charm from him comes from him being a solo act, you know?
Yeah, I was reading... I have Comixology now. I downloaded it and signed up for it because of Venom. So, Venom, you win. You got more money out of me, you fucker. But I signed up for it, and I've been reading comics constantly. And I just hit the Avengers comic. I think it's like Avengers or Original Avengers 182, or it might have been Spider-Man 182. It was one of them where Cap talks to Peter after a mission, and it's just like, "Hey kid, you did great on this mission, but I think..." And Peter's just like, "Yeah, no, I think I know where you're going with this. I think I'm better as a solo act.
Right.
I shouldn't really be an Avenger. I get it." And yeah,
perfectly right. You get
exactly. They even had a thing in the Ultimates verse where how many of the Ultimates comics have you read?
I have not read any Ultimates comics.
So I have read almost every single Ultimates comic there is. Every Avengers, the thing that I love about the Ultimate Avengers that they do is that they basically make them like, they're all a bunch of fuck-ups. And like basically literally like Thor gets caught in like a sex tape. Like Hank Pym is a raging alcoholic who beats Janet multiple times. Fucking Captain America, they even make Captain America kind of an asshole in that verse. They literally make Banner go ape shit and turn into the Hulk just because Betty goes on a date with Freddie Prinze Jr., ironically enough, which is hilarious to me.
Like not Freddie, but Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Just like
not
the actor?
Joker. Yeah, the actor.
Oh
It's hilarious to me. But yeah, that's my favorite iteration of the Fantastic Four. I love that iteration of Spider-Man. But so that is the Ultimates verse is the one that has the death of Peter Parker in it. And the whole thing that kicks that off and why he's so vulnerable when the Sinister Six break out of jail and come after him is that he's in a fight that, like, the Avengers have fractured and, like, they're, like, the Avengers and the Ultimates or whatever, and the Punisher, like, so the Punisher is in a square off on the bridge, and he tries to go and intervene, and he gets shot. And that's the whole precursor, is that, and that's my whole thing, is that the whole thing of Spider-Man that makes him interesting is that, again, he's supposed to be the boy in the man's world, he's supposed to be our representation, but again, his maturity and his maturity, again, it's the interesting thing that comes from Spider-Man, him rejecting this position of prominence that he gets, where, again, the thing for me that works with him...
He's just the friendly neighborhood
He's just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, exactly. It's the whole thing of... Again, why I think I have my biggest problem with Homecoming is that he is trying to constantly be bigger and grandeur, and again, he finally realizes that, but again, my biggest problem is that he kind of realizes it with no consequences, where again, in a world with the Sokovia Accords, he literally blows up Coney Island with no consequences. So, again, that's my biggest problem with that movie.
I get that.
But... yeah, so I want to see him do that. I want to see that version of Peter Parker. Honestly, everybody talks about how Peter Parker would have to die in order to make way for a live-action Miles Morales. I want to see the version where Peter Parker walks away from being Spider-Man and as a result allows for Miles to come in. That's what I want to see.
I could see that.
At least for the live action, like, you have the whole Into the Spider-Verse thing, and that's going to do what it's going to do, and that's fine, but at least for the live action, I want to see the verse where Peter graduated...
Did you see, real fast, I'm going to cut in real quick.
That's fine, because we're almost out of time. We're probably going to have to do a part 3. I'm just going to have to come back. Yeah, it's just like, did you just want to be my permanent partner now?
I'll just live here.
I just live here. And I can just guest star on your other podcast.
There we go, yeah. We'll bring you in on some podcasts.
Interconnected podcast. We're making our own cinematic podcasting universe here at the podcast sensation WNYO. Integrate the Oswagoni. Why not? Just put everything in it.
Oh yeah, I'm actually looking.
If the Russo brothers can do it, why can't we?
I'll talk to you about that afterwards. But I'm actually looking to work with the Oswagoni on some stuff.
That is true.
I've been in talks with Sam.
Yes. Oh really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anywho, no spoiling anything for that because I actually want that one to be kind of a surprise, and I don't want to make any promises.
Keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
But you heard it here first.
So Venom, the end credit sequence
with Carnage.
No. the Into the Spider-Verse clip.
Oh, that one, the one that I left before because I'm like, yeah, why am I skipping for why would I stay for an Into the Spider-Verse extended clip?
Because in that clip, I couldn't get anyone else to confirm, and I haven't been able to find the clip anywhere else that's been in good enough quality. But when he moves, so the Peter Parker shows up.
Right. The Jake Johnson voiced one.
Yes, shows up. But he's already leaning over a Peter Parker grave because Peter Parker died in Miles Morales'.
In Miles Morales' verse.
Yep. So I have a theory. I know it's not. He's not voiced by Tom Holland.
The Peter Parker that died in Miles' verse is Tom Holland.
No, Jake Johnson's is voicing Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
So you think that? So you disagree? You don't. So okay. So how about this? So
You're
does
exploding right now,
does
man.
that make the Peter Parker in Miles' verse the Tobey Maguire version? Because like I said, you still have all those Easter eggs. Okay, got it.
So that's the thing is, I think that that's his version because
the older version of Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
If you look at the suit that the Jake Johnson Spider-Man is wearing, it's Tom Holland's suit. It's not the Tobey Maguire
It's not Tobey Maguire suit. Okay.
In that clip.
Oh, that just opened up a whole new can of worms. Oh my god.
And with that, why don't we end
that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is it. This has been.
Is that the you yelling? Is that the you yelling?
Oh my god. You just made. Oh man. This is fucking. I mean, I don't know how good a reaction I can have as the way you did last week or whenever we recorded with Halloween.
Yeah.
God damn, that's awesome. That actually makes me really happy. So
I think. I will not promise you anything. That's what I saw.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I will say,
fingers crossed. I know there's going to be some reference there.
I think that would be a
wouldn't
great way to merge the two, the Sony Spider-Verse and the Marvel Spider-Verse that Sony's already allowed them to have. It's a perfect merger.
Oh, man. Perfect merger. Kind of like what Disney and Fox are doing right now.
Yeah.
It's just,
I have my opinions on...
Tomato, opinions, everything.
You say merger, I say monopoly.
They both start with M. You know what also starts with M? Mutant. Oh my god, these connections today. This episode is called Connections, brought to you by the Laker review of the Oswegonian, which you can find if you go anywhere on the campus of SUNY Oswego. Yeah. And as for the interwebs, you can find me on Dominic Rizzi, the editor-in-chief. You can find me on Twitter at Movie Nerd Review, Instagram at Dominic Rizzi, on Facebook, my name Dominic Rizzi, and on my Letterboxd page at Dom81797. And Charlie, where can good people find you?
Follow my Pinterest.
Does anybody even actually still use that?
Oh yeah, my sister. All the women in my family use Pinterest.
All right.
That's my alarm to let me know that with class. Gotta get.
Peace out, people.
So long.
I'm gonna make him an offer, Cameron.
Say what again? Say what again?
Why so serious?
Watch what happens. Well, what happened is this bull would go right through your fucking head. Watch what happens.
I am the one who knocks.